Welcome back to the Canadian Ruck, everybody. This is Jamie Gray. This pod, it's a special feature. We don't have any guests today. Today's going to be kind of an international review, focusing on Canada. We're just going to look at scores of the other games. Before we get there, though, we'll always have this, just our little plug, how to contact us, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, just the Canadian Ruck. Just look it up. We're there. Emails, thecanadianruck@gmail.com. Send me your questions. If you have any thoughts, if you have any ideas for guests, put it up there. Remember, we're on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, and CastBox, where you watch, listen, follow, subscribe, share, leave reviews, what have you. And lastly, our website is thecanadianruck.weebly.com. Before we get to the international reviews, though, I want you to take some time today or this week, go online on CBC and watch In Our Blood. It's a great documentary that's streaming on their platform. It chronicles the women's sevens team from the 2016 Olympics to today. It's only 25 minutes. It's very short. It could be definitely longer. As it highlights the Rio Olympics, where the team won bronze, there's a heavy focus on Charity Williams, Ghislaine Landry, and Karen Paquin, and they've got some little interviews with most of the players as well. But those three have the brunt of the work, so to speak, and it's really well done, very cinematographic. I don't even know if that's a word, but it sounds really nice. Anyway, it's a great watch. It moves forward from 2016 to some of the coaching issues over the past year to their plans for Tokyo. It's well worth the 25 minutes. Could have easily been a 2-hour documentary, as it was great to see. It was very inspiring, and it gave me chills and excitement getting ready for the upcoming Olympics and what those women are going to do. On the international scene, though, there's a few results from Saturday. The Morai All Blacks beat Samoa 38-21. The New Zealand All Blacks, man, laid a thumping on Tonga 102-0, and they scored 16 tries in the process. Now, the All Blacks are ranked second, but Tonga's ranked 13th, so that score is pretty wild considering that. British and Irish Lions beat the South African Lions, I think they're out of Johannesburg, 56-14. Argentina barely got by Romania, 24-17. And a recap of Canada-Wales, that's what's coming up now. East Coast Roast Coffee is an independent micro-roaster coffee in St. John, New Brunswick. What microbreweries are to beer, East Coast Roast is to coffee. They source from independent farmers and co-ops all over the world and roast in small batches to bring something interesting to the local coffee scene. If you're into really fresh coffee, head on over to their website at eastcoastroast.ca or pick up beans from Jeremiah's, Paris Crew, the Art Warehouse, or Woodchucks in St. John, New Brunswick. So the 2019 Rugby World Cup ended roughly 20 months ago, and Rugby Canada men's 15s have not taken the pitch since. Canada's last match was against South Africa, who we all know went on to hoist the William Webb Ellis Cup. Canada was set to face Namibia for their last pool stages game and was looking to finish the Rugby World Cup 2019 with a win. But Mother Nature had different plans, forcing the game to be called off due to a typhoon, which ravaged many parts of Japan. Team Canada, being altruistic by nature, did not sulk over the missed game, yet instead helped in storm-damaged towns within Japan. That is Canada. In those 20 months, Canada, like most countries around the world, has had to deal with COVID-19. Unfortunately, rugby is not one of Canada's leading sports, and it's suffered financial issues and player uncertainty. But that did not dampen Canada's spirit for rugby, with Major League Rugby taking hold and a handful of Canadian nationals plying their trade in Europe. Through these trying times, Canada was keen to get back on the pitch and represent their country to the best of their abilities, and that has happened, finally. Playing historic Principality Stadium versus a Welsh team missing players for the Lions tour, Canada finally gets their chance to retake the pitch. With a small but lively crowd singing, cheering, and showing true rugby respect, Canada and Wales kicked off for what was to be their first match together in a dozen years. Although Wales was missing key players, Canada too was shorthanded with upwards of 16 able-bodied players not eligible due to injuries, professional contract issues, or prep work for the upcoming Olympics with Canada's sevens team. Canada struck quickly to open the scoring only a couple of minutes after Lee Halfpenny, the Welsh fullback playing his 100th test, went down with an injury. Kenoa Lloyd, on debut, scored a beautiful try at the 4-minute mark in an attempt to set the tone for the Canadians, and scoring the first points for Canada since that 2019 Rugby World Cup match versus South Africa. The play began with clever on-field awareness by Canada's fly half Peter Nelson, as he read the Welsh defense well and placed a kick to the opposite corner during open field play. Although the Welsh won the line-out, they took a penalty. Young Canadian fullback Cooper Coates took a quick tap, and Wales couldn't respond. The ball was sent wide to Lloyd, who drove into the corner for a beautiful opening match strike. What a start for Canada. However, Wales took over shortly after that by scoring 5 unanswered tries in the first half. Canada's handling errors added up to possession and territory for Wales, and Canada at the breakdown was a little inconsistent, winning some and taking some penalties. Canada was definitely playing aggressive. Canada started the game with a strong rucking and cleanouts and good tackling, but Wales was finding gaps in space within Canada's aggressive defense. As the half wore on, Canada took more penalties, particularly at the breakdown, where their support slowed compared to earlier in the match. This led to strong territory and possession numbers for the Welsh. Small handling errors by Canada led to the lost ball, where Wales was able to stretch Canada's defense thin. But it wasn't a bleak half. Coates was very able under the high ball as he threw himself into the play frequently. Scrum half Ross Broad was distributing the ball well, and fly-half Nelson was seeing the pitch nicely. Canada's forwards were making strong tackles and performing well during scrimmages. Ben Lesage had a beautiful pick just inside Canada's half to relieve pressure and followed up with a good run and a grubber which eased tension on the Canadian defense. After Wales' fifth try of the half, Canadian winger Cole Davis jumped through the Welsh defense and gathered the ball with pace, running deep inside the Welsh 22, but his support was late and caused another penalty. Canada trailed 40-5 at half, conceding 9 penalties to 4, and that did not help matters. Second half showed much improvement for the Canadians. Although Wales ran in 4 second half tries, Canada was more determined and played a little smarter in the second 40. The penalties were more even, and Canada showed true Canadian grit in the second half. With a few subs and fresh legs, Canada's pack was able to turn an early scrum into a penalty. Canada had their chances. However, Wales' defense was constantly in Canada's face, leading to struggles with making things happen on offense. But Canada's possession caused a penalty, and Nelson placed a beautiful kick to the corner. Canada pressed, and Wales took 3 penalties off that line out. In my mind, should have been a yellow card, but Canada was awarded only a penalty and chose to tap and go. Canada pressed, but Wales fought back and caused another knock-on. At the 58-minute mark, Canada was dealt another blow as Captain Lucas Rumble was sent off for an HIA. Canada's Michael Smith gathered the ball off that restart, which eventually led to a penalty and another kick to the corner by Nelson. Canada had a strong lineout and short maul, causing an advantage, which led to good ball movement. A nice grubber sent through by Lesage led to an excellent chance for Lloyd in the corner. After a couple minutes with the TMO, it was deemed that Lloyd missed putting the ball down, but it was an exciting race into the corner. Canada continued applying pressure, displaying true Canadian rugby by not giving up and not backing down. Rumble came back on from the HIA, leading to a Cooper Coates try at the 68th minute. Canada had a powerful scrum and a nice ball placement. A nice ball from the replacement scrum half Will Percielier to Nelson, leading to nice backfield lines, and Coates punched it across for his first international score. Wales put the finishing try down in extra time, but Canada never backed down and continued to pressure when they had the ball. Throughout the game, Canada's grit continued to shine, even though they were able to take advantage of a few handling errors that the Welsh offered. Canada's second half was more disciplined, which helped them keep much-needed territory in possession. And with Wales' penalty count up, Canada was able to pin the Welsh in their own 22 more frequently. Canada has proven to be a second-half team in the past, and that appeared to be the case today. Grit, passion, dedication, and heart were on display by Canada, keeping Wales on the back foot a little more frequently in the final 40. Wales did keep their foot on the gas, but Canada was able to regroup and focus better after the halftime whistle. Much is probably due to the jitters of the first international in 20 months, with lots of new faces taking the pitch for the first time in a Canadian jersey. Welsh captain Jonathan Davies gave full credit to Canada, playing a full and hard 80 minutes and offered encouragement for how well Canada played at the breakdown. Canadian captain Rumble offered thoughts on Canada playing too fast and losing composure a little, but he loved the effort and work rate of his teammates, and he and his teammates are looking forward to England next weekend while fixing set pieces to keep it rolling. I imagine Kingsley Jones and his coaching staff are going to take a lot out of this and put some new pieces in place to move this team forward. With that 68-12 loss, Canada will be looking for more continuity too. Wales, ranked 6th in the world, we're probably looking to hang a bigger number on the 23 ranked Canadians, but Canada did what Canada does best: played with grit, tackled hard, played with heart, and had a never quit attitude. Let's see if the lads can improve for England next weekend. So thank everybody. This is awesome. Great. Just a different set, I guess, and as opposed to having an interview with sevens prepping for the Olympics with the internationals happening right now. I do have a lot of people lined up, but it's just a matter of finding time to chat. So next week, I'm actually chatting with Kiara Wardley of women's sevens and Barbara Mervin, who's retired now. And we've also got on tap Rugby World Cup 91 panel. That's going to be an interesting conversation for sure. Andrew Monroe and I are trying to set one up. Harry Jones and a few from the sevens men's are trying. Andrew Coe, same thing, and Alicia Alere. So there's a lot of names that have signed up to join me for a conversation. It's just a matter of finding the time. So thanks for listening. Keep spreading the good rugby word. This was just a recap as opposed to a rugby conversation. But thank you for listening. Thanks to Rylan, my son, for supplying us with their tunes. And until next time, this is Jamie. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay sane, and most importantly, keep on rocking.